What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as
People who intentionally distance themselves from you and then get mad at you for not reaching out to them are manipulators. Friends that always come back and tell you who's talking about you, who said what, they're talking about you too. Or they're at least really okay with whoever's talking about you without defending you. And a friend that never tells you about yourself isn't really your friend. Honestly, me personally, I don't like having yes men around me. I feel like all my friends should be able to tell me when I'm tripping because that's needed. If your friends can't do that, it feels like they're either scared of you or they really just don't give a fuck about you out here looking stupid.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Omomi aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing friendship. Now this video is inspired by a particular guy who asked what is a friendship lesson that you had to learn the hard way as an adult, and then so many people stitched the video and shared the lessons that they've learned about friendship as an adult. So let's check them out and then I'll come back to share my thoughts. Now, before we continue with this video, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. So now let's get into this video.
is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult? Mine is that you cannot expect a super passive friend to ever really have your back. Here's what I mean by that. You know those extremely passive friends that like almost are people pleasers to the extent where they have no opinion? It can be the littlest thing, like, where do you guys want to get dinner tonight? Oh, I don't care, we can go wherever you want to go. They never give strong input. They never really stand for anything. And here's the issue with that friend. If they are ever in a room where your name is being brought up in a negative way, they will never stand on their 2 feet and defend you. In fact, even worse, sometimes they might even join in on the conversation because they're just followers by nature. They're also not the best friends to go to when something is wrong because they're not going to give you good advice. They're just going to tell you what they think you want them to say. And I've had a lot of friends like this in my life that I've had to learn the hard way. You just can't end up really trusting them. I feel like they're fine to be friends with in social and casual settings, but if you are looking for a really great supportive friend that you can lean on, these type of friends are not it. What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
No matter how much you like the person, no matter how much memories you have together, no matter how many years you've been friends, or, you know, the place they used to hold in your life, if they're not putting energy into this friendship right now, they're not your friend anymore. They're just not. And you need to look in the mirror and be like, am I bending over backwards to include them in my life? Am I like going out of my way to make them feel special and like make them feel like how I feel about them? And am I getting that energy in return? Am I planning all the events? Am I including them in all the big events in my life? Am I, you know, texting them all the time, calling them all the time, trying to see them, and you're just not getting that energy in return? That's not a friendship, babe. That's a catering service. And I think that's a really hard pill to swallow because as kids, you don't have to put that much energy into your friendship. All of your friendships are like proximity based, like you see them in school or they're your neighbor, they're your cousin. You don't have to put that much energy into it. And, you know, kids naturally have that energy, but as an adult, you know, life gets hard, you get busy, plans get made, and are they putting in the effort to see you despite all that? Do they value your friendship? And sometimes you need to meet people where they're at and not just romanticize them in your head and like think of them as someone that they're not, you know? Don't think just because you guys have been best friends for years that they'll show up for you now, because that's not always true. And you need to like put boundaries and be like, oh, this is not the friend that I'm gonna call if I'm stuck at the airport. This is the friend that I hang out with once a month. And you need to be like okay with that. But you can't bend over backwards trying to make them feel special, trying to like cater to their feelings, trying to figure out how they're feeling, and like not getting any communication from them, not getting, you know what I mean? Like, you can't chase after your friends. There's no chasing in a friendship. You guys should, it's a two-way street. And I think I've started to do like the let them theory almost, where it's just I let them show me what kind of friendship they want to have with me. Because in the past, I'm constantly chasing after my friends, trying to get them, oh, I love their energy and I like want to hang out with them and like we have so much fun. No, I don't chase after anyone anymore. I make plans with people that I know would want to hang out with me and are trying to make plans with me. I don't chase after people anymore because I'm not going to bend over backwards for someone who's not communicating with me about our friendship. You know, it's just not right.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult? Mine is that you cannot expect...
Be careful of the ones who always cry victim. No matter what happens, they are the victim in every story that someone did them wrong. And even if you know that this is what they do, remember, argument time will happen with you one day with them, and you will be the villain, and they will always be the victim. And also be careful of them too, where they always buy you stuff. Because, or if they give you stuff, because it doesn't come from a genuine heart. And when you guys get into an argument, my mom always says, argument time will happen, and they will really let out how they truly feel. And then once you started to tell them about themselves, then you are the villain. They don't want to hear anything else. You are the villain, they are the victim, and they'll go to other people saying that how wrong that person did them. So yeah, run away from those folks for real.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
Not every friend that comes into your life is a 100% friend. And not everybody is a pick you up from the airport type of friend either. One of the biggest things that I used to get upset about was I used to give people 100% of my energy and they would only give me like 25% of their energy back. And I used to get so upset about it. And then eventually, instead of getting upset about it, I just started matching their energy. People that give me 25%, I only gave them 25%. People that gave me 50%, I gave them 50%. And the people that gave me 100%, I put like all of my energy into. And you know what happened? Nobody complained about it. The people that I started giving 25% to didn't even realize I was only giving them 25% of my energy. Because to them, friendship meant something different than it meant to me. And then I became happier because of that. Because I actually had the energy to give the people that were giving me 100%, 100%. And grow those friendships, and they became so fulfilling in my life. Now, the other thing is realizing that not everybody is a pick you up from the airport type of friend. And what I mean by that is everybody has their different strengths and weaknesses. So while there are certain people that you can call that'll pick you up on the side of the road at 3 o'clock in the morning or drop everything to be there are other people that just won't do that. But they will do other things. And instead of getting upset with them for not doing the thing that you know is their weakness, start appreciating them for the thing that you know is their strength. My life got a lot better when I realized that everybody has a different definition of friendship. And that's okay.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
Distance in a friendship is one of the best ways to test out who truly is being your friend for you and your relationship versus people who are just prioritizing your presence. We all have situations where we may have to relocate, whether it's our education, maybe it's a job, things just happen in life. And let me tell you, when you increase the amount of miles between you and your friends, it really will show you who are your true friends. I've moved so many times since I graduated high school, but for me, it really hit when I graduated from my undergrad because my friends at the time, like we were like this, like I'm not talking about just like hanging out, party friends. No, I mean like these were people that I truly thought, at least like I know to say lifelong friends would be a lot at that point, but I at least thought we'd be friends for like a year, maybe 2 years out of undergrad. The minute that I moved, because I went to school on the East Coast, had to relocate to the Midwest, I would say within 3 months of moving, I had lost a good chunk of my friends. They were barely communicating to me. If there was communication, it was because I was reaching out. And it hurt so bad. Like I remember like looking for jobs on the East Coast because I was like, I don't want my friends to forget about me because they clearly are forgetting about me. But as I got older and I had to continue to move because of life, I changed my mindset. I stopped focusing on the people who were leaving and changed and put all my energy in the people who were prioritizing me and our friendship. The people who were continuously reaching out and who were like, Minty, like, how are you? How are you doing? How's your boyfriend? How's life? What's going on? Like, tell me about things. And it's not even a lot. It's not even like on a everyday basis. I hear from these people maybe a couple times a month. Maybe sometimes it's 3, 4, every 5 months. But the efforts to reach out despite distance, and I mean, I've moved several times and I've had friends who have still maintained the relationship no matter where I've gone. And to me, that speaks volumes. I'm at the point now where I only prioritize relationships that feed in the same energy that I'm putting towards them. And like, this isn't any hate to like any of the friends that I lost. Like, distance just does that. But I will say, distance, you want to see who your besties are? Move and see who still is willing to check in with you.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
I will give you 3. Number 1, if the only times we see each other is because I made plans or I invited you out to something or we happen to run into each other in the streets and you've never actually made plans with me or tried to initiate us hanging out, I will sit back and wait. And if you don't reciprocate such a small thing, then it tells me that me having any sort of expectations of you is going to lead to me being disappointed. Number two, friends who only reach out to you when they need something or need help or some sort of emotional support, but never actually check in, ask how you're doing, ask me how my businesses are going. I'm going to step away because you don't care about me, you only care about yourself, and I don't want to be in that type of a friendship with anybody. And last but not least, the friends who are consistently inconsistent and unreliable, you gotta go. I have some really, really good friendships, and those friendships are my benchmark for any of my other relationships. So if anyone is not meeting at least what the good friendships are meeting, then you're either getting relegated to an acquaintance or someone I just don't speak to anymore.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
As you raise your standards and expectations for the company that you keep, you will truly start to see who your real friends are. What I mean by this is, especially in your 20s, as you grow and mature, you're going to raise your frequency and raise your standards and expectations, not only for yourself, but of course for the friends that you have. If a friend of yours responds negatively to you setting a higher standard or higher expectation for yourself or for the company you keep, it means they do not respect you. It means that they want you to stay as the lesser version of yourself because it suits their needs better. And in addition, it means that they don't want to grow alongside with you. And from my experience, that's when I've lost friends. But at the same time, I'm not going to accept anything less than what I deserve. And I wouldn't accept that in a friendship either. So,
what is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
How they treat you on your birthday tells you everything you need to know about where you stand in that friendship. The amount of times that I have gone out of my way and spent money that I ain't even want to spend just to celebrate friends' birthdays is actually very embarrassing. Because anytime my birthday rolled around, all these same people will go ghost. You make plans, they cancel at the last minute. Some don't give you a phone call, not even a text on your birthday. For so many years, I was like, if I consider someone my friend and it's their birthday, I'm going to show up on their birthday. I'm going to celebrate them, But nah, everybody ain't like that. And then in the same breath, you'll see them go out and hang out with whoever else. So it's not like they can't. They just don't want to do it with you. Stop making excuses for people. Stop making excuses for them, because if they wanted to, they would. Learn your place in people's lives and move accordingly.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
That if they call you their friend, if they have at one time said that they cared about you, and then when there's conflict, they ghost you, they're passive aggressive, they shun you, they hesitate to return your texts, they are actually the toxic one. They probably have a whole narrative in their head about how they're ghosting you, shunning you, not responding to your text because you're the toxic one. But actually, those behaviors are so conflict avoidant, so antisocial, and so, frankly, immature that, in fact, they are the problem.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as...
People who intentionally distance themselves from you and then get mad at you for not reaching out to them are manipulators. Friends that always come back and tell you who's talking about you, who said what, they're talking about you too. Or they're at least really okay with whoever's talking about you without defending you. And a friend that never tells you about yourself isn't really your friend. Honestly, me personally, I don't like having yes men around me. I feel like all my friends should be able to tell me when I'm tripping because that's needed. If your friends can't do that, it feels like they're either scared of you or they really just don't give a fuck about you out here looking stupid.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
Friends that know the tea about what people are saying about you have made themselves a safe space for people to talk shit about you.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
If you are someone who is focusing on becoming the best version of yourself and growing very rapidly and changing your life, it is extremely normal for people to just fall out of your field, for you to just stop thinking about them, to look up 6 months later and be like, oh, yeah, I remember this person. I wonder what they're up to. That is normal. It doesn't mean you're being a bad friend. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that person. It just means that you are on a high growth trajectory. And sometimes that takes you out of alignment with certain people that would have supported the older version of you. And especially if that person on a deeper level is not moving in that direction with you, then you're going to feel that as just simply not resonating with them, just simply not feeling like making plans with them, just not really feeling like you have much to talk about with them if you do see them. It's going to feel very obvious that there's not this symbiosis or group flow that's happening that makes you want to connect with them. With the people that you do align to at any given time, it's going to feel very easy. It's going to feel very natural, very uplifting, and it's not going to drain your energy. But if it does get to that point with someone, it doesn't mean anything negative about that person. It just means that sometimes the energy doesn't align.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
One of the hardest things in a friendship is understanding and accepting that your friends are going to change. And then the journey begins on whether you're going to continue the friendship with them, whether you're going to accept the friendship in its new version and let it evolve. But change is a natural part of life, and we become friends with certain people at certain points in our life, and people then change. We also change. But it's really, really hard when your friend is changing, and that means that your relationship is changing. And then you kind of have to do the work of figuring out how you're going to remain friends and what this new version of this friendship is going to look like. And you also have to grieve the ending of that previous version of that friendship. And it doesn't mean that it's bad or they're wrong or you're wrong, but it's just hard.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
Do not stay friends with the crisis friend. It's that friend that you have that no matter what, they always seem to be in a state of crisis. There was a point in time where I thought that it was possible for people to be so down on their luck that they were in a constant state of crisis. Something bad would happen, something else bad would happen, and then another thing. I was like, oh wow, that person just always seems to be going through. What I didn't realize was those people need to stay in a constant state of crisis because that is the only way that they are going to benefit from your sympathy. If you're anything like me, you would stop at nothing to take care of your people. I would drop whatever I was doing at a moment's notice. My own husband will tell you that for a period of 7 years, there was no peace in my life because I would have to drop whatever I was doing to go be there for that friend. But for me, the biggest problem wasn't actually being taken advantage of. It's that if that crisis friend ever hurts your feeling, there is no way for them to take accountability for hurting you because they are the one that's experiencing the crisis. There is no feeling that you have that would ever measure up to what they're feeling, and they will do whatever they can to prove that you're wrong. I just remember spending so many years gaslighting myself like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling this way because what they're experiencing is so much greater. So if you're someone that has a friend like that, I have to ask you, are you okay with always being wrong? If it is important to you to be in a relationship where your feelings are validated, no matter how big or small they are, this may be the time that you need to see yourself out.
Is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
If you deal with anxiety or low self-esteem or the spirit of rejection, be mindful of how you think your friends think about you. And what I mean by that is that if you have the kind of brain that always assumes the worst case scenario about a situation, then you're probably going to apply that same thought process to how you think you're being perceived by other people. Because I'll see a lot of people online and even in real life talk about how they feel like all their friends secretly hate them and they feel like nobody's ever happy for them. And granted, like that can be true. Like we all have come across fake people and we always will. But if you don't love yourself, then of course you're going to assume that nobody else does either. And I also believe this kind of thinking really does contribute to people not reaching out as much because a lot of us are anxious. And I feel like a lot of us assume that, oh, if I reach out to this person, I'm going to be bothering them. And like, well, they don't really like me like that anyway, so I'm just not going to say anything, or I'm going to wait for them to text me, when in reality, like they're sitting there waiting for you to text them. And it's just so crazy. Something that I live by now is that instead of always assuming the worst, which is human nature, why not assume the best? So next time you text somebody and you don't hear back from them for like 24 hours, don't always assume it's because that person just really doesn't like you, because you got to think, how many times have you done that to somebody and it wasn't actually personal? So don't always take it personally when it happens to you. And yes, people can do subtle things like that to passively communicate that they don't really like you, but until you have like more concrete evidence or you feel like your spirit is really telling you to get rid of someone, I always say just assume the best until further notice. And it's also not your job to be constantly dissecting and psychoanalyzing everybody's actions towards you, and especially if you deal with low self-esteem or anxiety, you most likely are going to lean towards the negative than the positive. So just be mindful of that everybody is not always out to get you.
What is a friendship lesson that you've had to learn the hard way as an adult?
There are some people out there who only talk to you so they can talk about you. These people do not like you, and no matter what you do or say, they are only going to use your life to feel better about themselves. And these people can be your best friends. Like, they can hide it very well. They infiltrate your inner circle, they build your trust, and the moment you find a minute of success or happiness, they will expose themselves as your biggest haters. These people want to be in your life only because they want to keep tabs on you. So when that friendship inevitably goes to shit, which it will, because it was doomed from the start, there is nothing you can do or say to stop it, because this person was never your friend to begin with. These people will be happy to help you when you're down because it makes them feel better about themselves. But pay attention to who's there when you're doing well. Pay attention to who's celebrating your successes with you. Pay attention to who goes AWOL and is conveniently too busy to hang out when you're doing really well. And don't blame yourself when the friendship fails, because it's their problem, not yours. Don't dim your shine for other people.
Okay, so before we continue, if you have any other friendship lessons that you've learned, I would love to hear it. So please leave it in the comment section. I'm watching the compilation of people sharing the friendship lessons that they've learned. I just realized that some of the people that I call friends, I might have to let go of them being my friends and just start looking at them as acquaintances or colleagues, because personally I'm someone that because of my introverted nature, I really don't know how to make a lot of friends. So I try to like keep the ones that I've made, even though I'm someone that doesn't really like communicate all the time. But once in a while, if I remember the person, I'll be like, okay, how are you and everything. But I'm just realizing that I need to let go of the version of the friendship that I had before with some people, and just look at them as acquaintances and not really like put so much energy in being their friends, because things have happened. I've like someone said, she relocated, she has been going to places, and distance might have occurred. So there are some people that distance have occurred in our relationship because I'm no longer in close proximity with them, and we don't have that kind of relationship that we used to have. But I was still trying to see them as friends, but it might look like we are not really friends anymore. Anyway, so that is something that I just realized watching some of the people talk about the friendship lessons that they have learned. Another thing that I am just learning this year and I am putting into practice is matching people's energy. And it is not only for friendship, it's for every relationship that I'm having with people. The energy that you put into me is the energy that I'll put into you. I am no longer trying to bend my back. I'm no longer interested in going beyond and above for people who would not go beyond and above for me. So that person that talked about that if she notices her friend is giving her 25% of her energy, she's putting back 25% of her own energy. And if she notices 100%, she's putting back 100%. And I think that that is a great idea, because not only would it prevent you from not ending up being disappointed when you put 100% and the person is putting like 10% in the relationship, in the friendship, but you'll be able to focus on the people that are putting much energy into their friendship with you, and it will also help your friendship with those kind of people grow stronger than you putting all your energy to someone that doesn't value you like that, and then putting less energy into somebody that values you that much. So that is really a lesson that I am actually implementing. So this year I don't want to look like I'm begging for affection. I don't want to look like I'm begging for attention. I really don't want to invest my energy in the people that don't like me like that or don't value me like that. I rather invest my energy, time into people that I know that like me like that, even though I was not invested as much into the friendship or relationship or anything. because it's not only friendship, it also occurs in other relationship that you might have. So that is 2 takeaways that I got from this compilation of people talking about the friendship lessons they've learned as adults. I don't know what you guys have learned either from this video or in your own life, in your own friendship. I would love to hear your own thoughts, so please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.